Live there. Start streaming. Yes. We are live. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for important and interesting events and happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The source of this information comes from the website, onthisday.com. I need to update that. I'm kind of slow on the trigger with that. Anyway, this website. For links to this source and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. And of course, anything gathered throughout the show will be added to said area post live stream, as per usual. Anyway, I am Xander, and I'm hoping to be joined by the Loon some point soon. We'll see. And of course, you viewer are you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. We all do here at the Omni Coalition. Anyway, today is Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, December 9th, 2023. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 536, we have Byzantine General Belisarius entered Rome, while the Ostrogothic garrison peacefully left the city, returning the old capital to its empire. Wow, I had no idea.
How about that?
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Golden Moon here.
Yeah, by the way, without my background and stuff, your arm is on camera now. So now everything. If you don't want to be on camera, just letting you know. I don't mind if you're on camera. Hello, the Loon.
I just sit over on the side because I sit here.
Yeah.
I don't care. On, off, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. But that's interesting. So for a little while, actually, I think that was after the fall of Rome when. Because remember they got invaded and everything, and all. So this is when they took it back, the Byzantines. So, 730, Battle of Marj Arbil, Turkic Khazar army led by Barjik defeated Umayyad force with 20,000 killed, including General Al-Jarrah ibn Abdallah, whose head was mounted on a throne. Whoa. They weren't messing around back then.
No.
So.
Well, I'm not messing around today either.
Yeah, well, the only difference is, there isn't any difference. We, the people, are just sitting there taking it, while the elitists are fighting, and we're the ones paying with our blood. So.
I'm talking about all the beheadings and stuff like that going on, just like putting his head on.
Oh, well, what's going on in France? Yeah.
Everything, everywhere, it seems like it's going on.
Yeah, well. Yeah, moving on up to 1212, in the year 1212.
I thought that was 2020.
Well, no, like Hildy get the broom? So, remember Tetris?
Yeah, I get that.
Anyway, Frederick II, later also a Holy Roman Emperor, so this is before he became that, was crowned King of Germany in Mainz.
King of Germany.
Alright, he would later become, Holy Roman Emperor. 1315, Swiss Wutzen renewed the Eternal Covenant Oath Society. What is that? Let's look that up here really quick. So, Eternal Covenant Earth Society. Okay, well, I'm getting videos. That's Oath of the Covenant. Okay, let me just look up this entire article then. Okay, that's just telling me, Battle of Morgan? I'm not sure. If anybody can figure out more about this, please let us know in the comment section. 1425, Pope Martinus V formed the University of Leuven. Or 1425 University. I wonder if it's still around, actually.
No, that's a good question. I have no idea.
No, well, we'll figure that out here in a minute. KU Leuven. Okay, I think it's still around. It's international community. It's a research foundation now. Is one of the top public universities in Leuven. I wonder if it's the same one. So, once again, if anybody knows a little bit more, actually, what is this? KU Leuven, 1834? No, this is not. This is 400 years. Over 400 years before that. So I don't think that's the same one. Anyway, 1570, the Guzen, a confederacy of Calvinist Dutch nobles under Herman de Ruyter, occupied Loevestein, which I found that interesting. A confederacy of nobles.
Yeah.
1625, Netherlands and England signed a military treaty. I initially didn't put that in, but we're going to be talking about that again here in a minute, so I went back and put that in. 1640, settler Hugh Bewitt was banished from Massachusetts colony when he declared himself to be free of original sin. Yikes.
It's a heck of a declaration.
Yeah.
For yourself.
I know. Well, for anything.
Yeah.
1688, King James II's wife and son fled England for France. So they were like leaving England, going to France.
Going to France.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Like, but then again, what did they do to piss
Yeah.
off the people? So
Why did you have to,
yeah,
get out of Dodge?
yeah. Then speaking of people getting out of Dodge, 1738 Jews were expelled from Breslau, Silesia,
Good grief.
which I have no idea about that. But like,
I never heard of that.
but I mean, like, Breslau, it's a region now. Where is it?
Where is it? Yeah.
Is Breslau German or Polish? It became the Polish city of Wrocław later on. It was the largest German city east of Berlin. But that was up to 1945. So, yeah, that's after Germany lost the Second World War and had to cede their territories conquered back.
Yeah.
So this,
Well, we know the region where they.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, again, Germany, well, I guess not even again, like earlier on, Germany doing things with
Going
it.
on a long
But
time, around the world
what
long
is
time.
going on? Like, what sparks that? You know?
That's a good question. What sparked today where we're at today?
I know.
The Jews. I don't get it.
It's just absolutely mad. But, if you start saying anything, all of a sudden you're anti-Semitic. So you can't even talk about it. So how are we supposed to figure it out? Unless they're hiding something. I don't know. Anyway, 1762, British Parliament accepted the Treaty of Paris. All right. And, well, where was it? Didn't I swear I Netherlands, England, okay. Oh, here we go. 1747, Great Britain and the Netherlands signed military treaty. So we had Netherlands and England in 1625 signing a military treaty. And then 1747, it's Great Britain. They're no longer England and Great Britain because they conquered Scotland by then and part of Ireland. So now they're the Kingdom of Great Britain. No longer just England.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And, the
Yeah.
same date.
You're seeing the bill.
You can see how it's things are changing and whatnot. 1775, at Fort Ticonderoga, Henry Knox began his historic transport of artillery to Boston, Massachusetts. Later forces the British to evacuate Boston. All right, yeah, good old Henry Knox. I believe he's the namesake of Fort Knox. Namesake of Fort Knox. Well, there's two different Knoxes.
Oh, is there?
Fort Knoxes. How did Fort Knox get its name? Major General Henry Knox.
There
Yeah,
you
so
go.
it was this guy, but
Yeah.
there is something else. Knox named after a different Knox. So there's been multiple Knoxes.
There's a Knox on him, though.
Knock on wood. Moving on up to 1783, we have the first execution at Newgate Jail in London, which is now the site of the Central Criminal Court, also known as the Old Bailey, relocated from Tyrone, which is now the site of the Marble Arch. So, okay, so the first execution at that jail. All right.
And now there's a Marble Arch.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So, and this is London, so
Yeah.
like. In 1793, Noah Webster, we know that name, Webster's Dictionary
Yeah,
and all that stuff,
yeah.
established New York's first daily newspaper, the American Minerva. All right, yeah. 1851, the first Young Men's Christian Association, YMCA, probably going to get copywritten for that, in North America was set up in Montreal, Canada. So, yeah. All right. 1861, during the American Civil War, the Joint Committee of the Conduct of the War was established by the U.S. Congress. Okay, well, during the war, they have to figure out, how they're going to conduct the war and all that stuff.
That's what we need, a committee.
Yeah, great, yeah. Politics starting to get involved in warfare, it always goes south really quick.
Let's solve the problem. I know, we'll form a committee. Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, people are getting shot and dying out there, and we're just sitting here talking, oh, what are we going to do next? Let's go kill the enemy before they kill us. How about that? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, 1868, the first traffic lights are installed outside the Palace of Westminster in London. Resembling railway signals, they use semaphore arms and are illuminated at night by red and green gas lamps. So, the little...
they come up, stop, go. Hey, I remember as a kid, we still had those.
Yeah.
Goes, and then they go down, and up comes a stop.
That's now we just have lights and everything, and it's really interesting, especially during Christmas time. You start to realize, hey, the traffic lights are Christmas colors. You have red and green,
Yeah.
and then you have yellow, which is on Christmas,
Throw
thing.
that in there.
Yeah,
Just as a mix.
yeah. But then, and I've said before, white traffic lights are coming here soon, and it has something to do with the self-driving cars. Like they see a white light and it does something.
Oh, okay.
Like I've seen a video. I need to pay more attention to it again, but I gotta watch it again. White traffic lights. Yeah, here we go. You'll soon be seeing white on traffic lights. So on top of red, yellow, and green, there's going to be an added white one. So let me add this in the underbar section.
Yeah.
White
I want to see that later.
traffic
What's going on?
lights. It has something to do with the self-driving car technology or something.
That makes kind of sense.
Yeah.
At least you're making good logical sense. I don't know how accurate it is, but...
I have no idea. I'm not a scientician. 1869, Noble Order of Knights of Labor was founded in Philadelphia. Huh. Knights. You know, that's not something you think of, like, happening in the Americas.
No.
Yeah. KOL, the first important national labor organization in the U.S., was founded in 1869. Named the Noble Order of the Knights of Labor by its first leader, Uriah Smith Stevens, it originated as a secret organization meant to protect its members from employer retaliations. Ooh, wow. Well, we need more of that today.
It's not the Knights in the... It's just they're tagging on to the name. Too.
Yeah, well, like, it's about, like, honor, integrity, justice, you know.
Especially being secretive, you can see that, too.
Yeah, well, we need more
Knights
things...
of Labor.
We need more things like that, especially, like, after what I had to deal with, Vaughn's, like, don't have a good customer service voice, reason to let me go at the 60th day of my 60-day probation. What a
I love the fact that after you paid your dues,
I know, right?
You're making less than minimum.
Yeah, I was making less than minimum wage after paying my dues, and then after they wouldn't help me, then they still expected me to pay union dues after I lost my job. Yeah. Why? And now I'm a delinquent. Okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, good luck. Yeah, 1869, Noble Order. We got that. 1878, Joseph Pulitzer bought the St. Louis Dispatch for $2,500. The Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
I believe Joseph Pulitzer.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
But what is the St. Louis Dispatch? Is that
I have no idea.
A sports team? You know what? Let me just look up the entire thing here. I should have had breakfast because I'm getting really hungry now. Here we go. St. Louis Dispatch. The city penalizes as a teen. Pulitzer arrived in the city penniless. Oh, penniless. Okay. Missouri Life. Okay. It's not telling me anything. Okay, well, this is not even anything to add into the links. I'm not finding anything, but was it a sports team? I'm not sure. 1883, New Brunswick. I'm familiar with that area. Adopted Eastern Standard Time until 1902.
Yeah, they have weird money there.
Yeah, they do. Little tiny dumbbells, Gives your finger a little workout. Yeah.
Three-dimensional money.
How am I supposed to put these in a payphone? Weird. But that's interesting. They were on the Eastern Standard Time until 1902, and they're farther east, so they're in like a different time zone from that.
Are they far enough east?
You know what? Let's look at this. North America time zones map. Here we go. Images.
Where's it cut off?
Hold on a second.
If you find the right one, you can enlarge it.
Let's see here. Open image in new tab. Here we go. Let me bigger this. Is New Brunswick here? Halifax.
I'm having a hard time reading this map so far. Oh, there we go, over there.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
Something's in it. Something's in the next time.
Well, there's Halifax. For whatever reason, and it has to do with the curvature of the Earth, but you see there's a straight line, and it goes all the way over here, and then back, and it's like, make up your mind, wow, look at this one.
Well, they'll try to, they'll follow a state or something so the state doesn't divide, I think.
Not necessarily.
No? Some states do?
No, some of the time zones are just really bananas. Like, hold on a second, time zones. Like, there's one that's like goes way the hell. Okay, yeah, here we go. Oops, no, I want this picture. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Right here, this goes down, and he's like, I'm going to take this chunk, and essentially, completely bisect this other time zone, and then go back. It makes no sense. Yeah. It does it here too, does it here too. This guy comes out the other way. This is shared.
I wonder if it became political at some point. Maybe there's islands out there, and the one that's...
Iceland is way out here, and why Iceland is completely in this other zone? Why is this going reep, reep? Yeah. As you say, political, maybe.
Yeah.
But
they look like they're trying to keep the country all in one time zone.
Oh yeah, look at this. This guy is completely disconnected.
Yeah.
It's the same color. So yeah, you're probably right. But that's just a section of green. That's weird. A disconnected time zone.
Yeah.
And then this is too. Like, this one cuts it off from this end. This one cuts it off from this end. And then it continues out in Finland, but northern Sweden, it doesn't. That's weird. Huh. Time zones are strange. Anyway, we got to get back to the show here. 1884, Levant Richardson patented the ball-bearing skate.
Ball-bearing skate.
Ball-bearing skate. Let's take a look
skates,
at that.
Obviously.
Huh.
Oh, yeah, so they have...
No, that's skateboards. Oh, roller skate, you're right. It's on the roller skates, too.
Skateboards came much, much later.
Yeah.
Using roller skates originally.
It's the same thing. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But ball bearings make that whole thing roll.
Mm-hmm. 1889, U.S. President Benjamin Harrison dedicated the Chicago Auditorium, designed by Louis Sullivan in Dankmar Adler, which was then the largest building in the U.S. So let's take a look at this Chicago Auditorium. All right, let's see how cool this building is. Oh, okay. So it's a big square building. So on the outside, it's kind of boring, but the inside, okay, has, a big auditorium-like thing. That's a lot of lights. Obviously added after 1889, but wow. 1892, English football club Newcastle United was founded. Okay. 1897, activist Margaret Durland founded the feminist daily newspaper La Fronde in Paris. All right, back when they actually had things to complain about, 1902, American League announced the purchase of grounds for a stadium in New York. Yeah, we were just talking about yesterday, the Angels leasing Dodger Stadium for 4 years, to use it as their stadium.
Yeah.
And then, and I looked it up, and it wasn't until 2 years after the end of that lease in which the Angel Stadium would be finished. So,
So, what are you talking? What did they lease? What stadium?
Dodgers.
Oh, Dodger Stadium. Yeah, when they played back. Okay.
Yeah, no, when they first moved out here.
Yeah.
Actually no.
They didn't move out here. It was a new team formed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're opening a new franchise, and what's his name bought it? The cowboy actor.
Yeah. Okay. So the Dodgers were here, and were the Angels were afterwards, right?
Afterwards. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the Dodgers came out here somewhere around 56, 57.
Okay, yeah, because I know that the Angel Stadium was finished in '66.
Okay.
I looked that up yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, 1903, Norwegian Parliament voted unanimously for female suffrage. All right, I'm all for that.
Now, actually, just going back to the Angels-Dodgers. The Angels were actually here way before the Dodgers. However, they weren't a major league
team. Okay.
They were a minor league team.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. There was two teams out here, the Los Angeles Angels and the Hollywood Stars.
Oh, yeah. The Stars were still around, right?
No. They disbanded that. They were up in Hollywood.
Oh.
And the stadium is gone now. CBS or NBC or one of them's up there. They had a stadium up there.
So you're telling me not only did Los Angeles already have two baseball teams, but we took one from the East Coast, because we have an insatiable appetite to take what's not ours, like the Lakers,
Yeah.
And we dissolved a team to make room for a team that's not from us. That's how California.
Well, keep in mind they were only AAA minor league teams. So
I'm making a joke.
I know.
But you like AAA minor league teams. I don't really know much about.
I think the Angel. Now Hollywood Stars moved somewhere else. I know one of them. I don't know if it was the Angels or the Stars.
I thought you said they dissolved.
They didn't. I was incorrect.
Okay.
They actually, one of them went up to Spokane, Washington. And
yeah.
The other one went.
That's right. Spokane, something. 1905, French Assembly National voted for separation of church and state. All right, so they actually made it official.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, where do we vote?
What?
Where do we vote?
I don't know.
In a church.
Well, yeah, sometimes.
Most of the time. Sometimes we go to a house.
We went to the library once. Voted over there.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new library.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of interesting. Going to a liberal institution to vote. That's a little eyebrow raising right there. 1906, New York American reports Belgian King Leopold II bribed U.S. Senate Commission on the Congo. That's not good. So, you know, we have you know how we're always like screwing around with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where some aspects of the world were trying to screw around with us. You know, and here's an example right there. The Congo was trying to pay off to get us some kind of vote, you know, in their benefit or whatever, in our own government. That's kind of strange. 1907, the first Christmas seals were sold. Wilmington, Delaware post office. What's a Christmas seal? Like a letter seal? Like Christmas seals. Oh, okay. Like
seals. Okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking like or you know like.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Christmas seals were really popular at one time. I don't think there's so much anymore.
By the way, we're expecting a letter from my birth mother. She wanted to know our address because she was sending out cards.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. 1908, the German Reichstag adopted a progressive social law restricting hours of factory work by young people and women. Okay. Like, you know, I don't agree with the whole thing for women. If they want to work, you know, let them. But young people, they need a childhood.
Yeah.
1909, the first U.S. monoplane was flown by Henry W. Walden in Long Island, New York. And that's one wing, right? Monoplane. There's biplanes and there's monoplanes.
Yeah. That's what it's mean to me. I've never heard the term, but it's got a...
One wing.
Yeah.
One for mono.
Yeah.
So, and I think my cardboard is about to fly off of the...
We got some wind going.
Yeah.
Not real bad, but it's windy out.
Yeah. 1913, heavyweight fight between Jack Johnson and Jim Johnson ended with no decision in Paris. Johnson and Johnson.
Was that in the bare knuckle era?
I believe so.
1913?
That would... hold on a second. Bare knuckle boxing.
Ended.
Bare knuckle boxing. When did bare knuckle boxing? Bare knuckle boxing ended. Why? Bare knuckle boxing. It's not letting me know. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just look it up. Bare knuckle boxing, and of course, there's this guy, John Sullivan.
Yeah.
England, of course. Hold on a second. When did bare knuckle boxing end? That's more. Okay, it's not freaking telling me. BKFC. Bare Knuckle Fight Club.
2022. April 8, 2022.
No.
UFT is around that long.
No. This is UFC. This is something else. So I think it's come back, bare knuckle boxing.
Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Anyways.
Yeah, 1913, we got that. 1922, first Australasian Championship women's tennis in Sydney. Margaret Molesworth won inaugural title, defeated fellow Australian Esma Boyd 6-3, 1-8 or 10-8. All right. So, you know, first one for women. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
1924, Netherlands and Hungary trade treaty was signed. All right. 1925, American League extended Ban Johnson's contract to 1935 and raised to $40,000. Yeah, so like for another 10 years, $40,000.
Yeah.
That's nothing in today's.
Well, in today's world, it doesn't seem like it even transferring to today's. Doesn't
No,
like
no,
that
it
much
wouldn't.
money compared to what they.
It wouldn't. You know what? 1925, $40,000.
Less than $1 million bucks.
Oh, definitely. $703,248.
So you can see how we've even extended salaries dramatically.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because now they're making 5, 6, 15 million a year.
Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't even like wipe their butt with that number. 1926, USGA legalized steel shaft golf clubs. All right. 1931, Japanese army attacked the Chinese province of Jeho. You know, there you go. You know, Japan being extremely aggressive and conquering and everything.
Yeah.
The Britain of the East, I guess. 1931, Spain became a republic. Yeah. And I believe that was right before Francisco Franco's, because he, you know, the Spanish Civil War ended in 1939, just before the outbreak of the Second World War. And that was when, you know, the fascist dictator, or not really fascist, but, because fascism was brand new at the time with Mussolini.
But that's not Spain, though.
No, that's Italy.
Yeah.
But Spain had a civil war, and I guess, like...
They had a dictator in Spain?
Yeah.
Do you recall the name?
Francisco Franco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is why Spain was neutral during the Second World War, because they literally just fought their own civil war. However...
I didn't know he was a dictator.
Francisco Franco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know my history. That's why I talk to you.
Yeah, well, let's see it. Francisco Franco. El Duce, or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that was
Duce or something.
Well, they called Mussolini that as well. He was a Spanish military general who led the nationalist forces in overthrowing the Second Spanish Republic during the Spanish Civil War, and thereafter ruled Spain from 1939 to 1975 as a dictator, assuming the title caudillo. Okay.
So they became a republic in 31 and were overthrown in 39.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know.
Now, what's really interesting is Spain, because fascists, dictators, and all that stuff, like rub shoulders. He actually, and this is why the Luftwaffe was so strong in World War II. Their first taste of combat, he let Germany come in and test their fighters during the Spanish Civil War on his side. So Germany came in and helped him. He was still neutral during the war, but he worked with Italy and Germany and all that stuff. That's why Spain was out of the whole thing on both sides. They were working with them while we were working with the Allies.
Okay.
But we were stronger. So, yeah, I'd love to talk more about that, but we got to continue on up here.
Yeah, we do have to keep moving.
1935, the first Heisman Trophy awarded was to Jay Beringer of Chicago, a halfback.
Yeah,
all right.
First Heisman.
Yep. And then 1935, Walter Liggett. Where are we? 1935, 1933, 1930. Here we go. There's that. Here we go. Walter Liggett, American newspaper editor and muckraker, was killed in the gangland murder. Ooh. Holy, yikes! I mean, back then, if as a journalist, you had to go out into the real heat of battle, and sometimes
we used to do that.
They
used to have field journalists all over the world, and all the news media has really cut back on all of that.
Yeah, because of the dangers
and the cost.
Yep. 1 year later, 1936, England embarrassed Australia in the first test in Brisbane. Home side all out for 58 as England won by 322 runs. Don Bradman out for a duck, 0.
Cricket.
Yep. 1938, and this one was really interesting, not just where it was, but when it was. 1938. Remember that.
Okay.
The state of California uses a gas chamber instead of hanging for the second time in a week. Wesley Idgie and Fred Barnes were executed for their roles in Folsom Prison escape attempt, resulting in a murder of the warden and a guard, San Quentin State Prison, Marion County. 1938, during the Holocaust, California uses a gas chamber. California killed people back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I know that. I know that, but you look at California today, such a notion is unheard of.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know they were hanging prior to that. Never gave it a thought. And that's what else would you do? Now they got the electric chair.
Well,
But I don't think California has a death penalty. I don't think, unless they've reinstated it and I haven't followed it.
Well, they do, but they don't act on it.
So we still have the death penalty? If they do, it seems to me, I remember, it takes years and years and years to finally execute someone. But we banned it at one time, and I don't know if it still is.
Let's see here. California. Well, here's California capital punishments. Historically, blah, 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 blah. Announcement in March, California signed executive orders and a moratorium on the death penalty in California in the form of a reprieve for all people sentenced to death. The executive order also calls for repealing California's lethal injection protocol, and if so, at least up until 2019, we still had protocols and we had stuff, but we never acted on it.
Okay.
So, we might still have it in some degree. So we can still legally kill people according to our law, but we never do. Now in Texas, if you kill somebody, they'll kill you right back. So for now, until Austin fully takes complete control. So people never believed me when I said Texas was going to fall, and it's happening.
Hey, not too awfully long ago, Texas was a hard blue state. Now it's red, so it could turn back blue at some time.
Yeah. Well, it was blue during, that one winter. They got that cold storm and they had no power and all that stuff. Now,
I think it's recently.
That's a blue Christmas.
When Johnson became president, I'm pretty sure it was a blue state.
Probably. I find that really hard to imagine, but
Well, Democrats weren't what they were today.
Well, they've always been evil, prejudiced.
No.
They created the KKK.
I understand that was their strong arm of the party.
Exactly. They've always
You're going to get yourself banned for saying that, so be careful.
Well, it's historical fact. So, Anyway, in 1940, illegal Jewish immigrants to Hafia were deported to Mauritius. Wow. Well, I mean, they were illegals, so,
Yeah.
Kind of funny that they point out that they're Jewish. Illegal immigrants are illegal immigrants. I don't care if they're Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're illegal, you're illegal. 1941, the first U.S. World War II bombing mission in Far East Luzon, Philippines. All right. And so December 9th, we're starting to just 2 days after? Yeah, 7, 8, 9. We declared war yesterday. As I said, Canada declared war the day of.
Yeah.
On the 7th. We declared, and the UK declared on the 8th, war on Japan. 1941 as well, 300 Montgomery, San Francisco, opened as a new Bank of America headquarters. And let's not forget, Bank of America, originally called Bank of Italy.
Yes.
The reason why they're so big is because they took advantage, and they actually changed their name from Bank of Italy to Bank of America, shortly after the earthquake and the resulting fire in San Francisco, because they were based in San Francisco. Yeah. They changed it to Bank of America, so that way people it's the Bank of America. I can rely on them. They're relatable. Took completely advantage of all the people after that disaster, and then
I
just
don't know
made
when they
bank.
actually changed it. They changed the name.
I do.
But when? What year?
Just after the great earthquake in San Francisco.
What year?
When did Bank of Italy become Bank of America? November 1st, 1930.
Oh, that early. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Because I was going to say you have Italy then was with Mussolini and whatnot, but that's way before that.
No, I'm talking about the fire in San Francisco.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, which this is actually a lot farther along than I thought. But anyway, so this is where, right here, San Francisco.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on up, 1941, Adolf Hitler ordered U.S. ships and those loyal to her to be torpedoed 3 days before declaring war on the U.S. Wow, that's shit. Well, I mean, you don't need to declare anymore. Your actions speak louder than your words, buddy. So, yikes. And yeah, that was...
well, this is, let's see, December 7th was Pearl Harbor, so yeah. He was already going to war supporting Japan and all that.
Yeah, that was a really big mistake. Because he declared war on us before we declared war on him.
Yeah.
Because we only declared war on Japan. He was just, I got your back, buddy, and whoopsies, But, Hitler made a lot of mistakes.
And China says, I think this is a mistake we, after we...
Japan?
Yeah. After they attacked...
Yamamoto, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've woken up a sleeping giant.
Yeah, well, because of our industrial capabilities at the time, we started.
He understood that, I guess.
It got to the point where we were literally popping a ship out every day, a full ship out. Now we're not making a whole ship in one day,
right.
But because of the process, it gets done every day. Another ship gets done.
It's just like an assembly line for cars. You're not making that car every day, but
and we saw, to a certain degree, we've lived through another, mobilization, industrialization, the whole 2020 thing, when, God, turn the factory from making this to make this, and you were amazed that we were still able, to switch on a dime like that.
Well, and I've said, how could we do that today, and we had a very small snippet of it when COVID hit, and companies were switching to make respirators.
Yeah.
Because of the need of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a very teeny sliver of what they did for World War II. But nevertheless, we can see that it can be done to some degree.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did see a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
If it's ever needed.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. And then 1941 as well, China declared war on Japan, Germany, and Italy. That took a while for China to do. Unless you're talking about the CCP. Because yesterday was when the real China went into what became known as Taiwan. It was called something else beforehand.
Well, no, they went after the wars when they went to Taiwan.
Oh, okay. So that's the real China.
Yeah.
But
Mao Zedong took over and then fled to Taiwan and declared that as China.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second.
41 was a few days after.
Called before. It was called Formosa. That's right.
Yeah.
It was Formosa.
That's right.
Yep. 1941 as well. Citizen Register reported hostile planes reported nearing Westchester. I believe that's England. So the Blitz, probably, yeah. But see, like, I want to go back to here. China declares war on Japan. Haven't they been under attack for 5 years already? Like, they took a while.
I don't know the history of that, but it's they probably joined us because we declared war on Japan. So a few days later, they declared war on Japan.
I mean, I guess if you're getting invaded, you don't really have to declare anything, you know? Technically.
I guess they officially made it then.
But then by then they were already being, pinchered, on the other. Because I'm not sure if I brought this up to you, but it was weird. It wasn't just Germany fighting, or eventually fighting a two-front war when they opened it up with Barbarossa, with Russia, Operation Barbarossa. But if you look at it, Japan was fighting a two-front war. Russia was coming in, and they were, being aggressive, down to the south and everywhere else. And then also China between the CCP and Japan. So there's 3 parties fighting two-front wars during that whole thing. That's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess.
And then us too. Europe and Pacific. So
I guess the question is, were they attacking China before they attacked us in Pearl Harbor?
Oh, definitely.
So they opened up a two-front war.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that was a 3-front by then.
Yeah. What else?
Well, no,
Russia?
Japan was fighting Russia already.
Yeah.
Because Russia wanted the land, so Japan was fighting Russia. And then Japan was also, invading and conquering, for resources and all that stuff. And then because of their actions, hostile and all that stuff, we put an oil embargo on them and then pinched them. And then, not necessarily to force them to do action against us to get us into war, but we were trying to, stifle their thing. Now, some would argue that we were trying to, entice them, especially, laying up how Battleship Row, was perfect. Hey, we set up the bowling alley for you. There you go. Here's the ball, and have fun, Japan.
I think the government could be that stupid.
Or smart, to get the public to support what they want, I mean, they did that with the Gulf of Tonkin. They did that with how we got into the Spanish-American War. Look at, all the stuff around 9/11. Most of the time, if not every time we've ever gotten into a conflict, it was after we did something to force, another party into because even a cornered mouse fights, force them into action against us, and we use that as justification to now fully go after them.
You got to remember one thing with everything you're talking about in history. Once it's happened and you look back, you can see it with much more clarity. That doesn't mean they can
hindsight is 20/20.
They didn't. That doesn't mean they saw it at the time of it happening in real time. Looking back, it looks obvious that someone should have known, and maybe they.
Then we can go down the conspiracy thing. But all I'm saying is, I'm never saying that they knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen.
Right.
But there's no other reason why they would line up the battleships to be perfect targets like that. What were you doing? Why?
Yeah.
And then just literally, I reported on this 3 days prior. They moved their aircraft carriers out.
Yeah.
So just so happened. How convenient, Anyway,
a lot of stuff that you can look back at with clarity.
Well, I mean,
that's my point.
Anyway, 1949, the NFL merges with the AAFC. Cleveland Browns, San Francisco 49ers, and the Baltimore Colts joined the league intact. Other teams in New York and Los Angeles were merged with existing units.
See, I never knew that. I never knew there was another. The AAFC, never heard of that.
AAFC, what is that?
That was a football league, obviously, and they merged.
Well, let's see what they look like. All-American Football Conference, okay.
Okay.
Huh.
I remember much later when the NFL then merged with the AFL, which was another league that was an upstart league. Now you have when they combined them, it was now the AFC conference and the AFC conference. NFL overall, but
then you have East and
NFC.
West. Yeah,
2 different conferences.
You have a country, then you have the states, and you have the counties, and you have the districts, and you have the cities and towns, like the pyramid. So.
Yeah.
1941, West German voters approved merger of 3 states to form Baden-Württemberg. Okay. 1 year later, 1952, Great Smog of London and England, of course, England. It's funny, they have it in parentheses, because there is there are other Londons, around the world. So, but the wind resumes, lifting the city's worst smog after 4 days. Over 8,000 people died attributed to these conditions. Clean air legislation was enacted in its wake. So yeah, because of all the Industrial Revolution, well, this is 1952, so this is way after that. but more cars, and not really like environmental mindset and all that stuff back in that time. All it took was the wind to stop blowing, everything stagnated, and then people died of the smog. I mean, look at China today.
Well, I remember back as a kid, late 50s, early 60s, smog was huge out here. I mean, where it hurts your lungs to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even today, like back in 2015, when I came back from my failed attempt to start a new life up in Oregon.
Yeah.
I came back and I can feel the air is physically thicker down here than it was up there. I was only up there for what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks, I'd say, around there. But even then, I came back down and the air was distinguishably thicker down here than it was up there. So I'm like, wow,
That doesn't mean it was dirty. That could mean it was more humid down there.
Well, no, it wasn't the humidity. It was more than humidity. I know how humidity feels.
You want thick air, go to the southeast.
Yikes. But no, and you know where smog got its name from?
I do, and I forgot.
It's a mixture of smoke and fog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
smog. Anyway, moving on up, 1953, General Electric announced all communist employees will be fired. Well, we need to bring that back. So, yeah, we need to cut off the money for those people so that way they can't continue funding the evil. So, I know McCarthyism was bad.
Yeah.
But with how everything is today, I kind of want it back.
You can't. That's going too far the other way. McCarthyism, but you do need to have. Everybody has a right to their own opinion, but we do need to know who they are, and if they are planning bad things against our country, even though they're part of it, then you got to react.
Yeah. Anyway, 1954, here we go. Dmitry Sostokovich, appointed honored guest of Royal Swedish Academy of Music. The one man that Stalin couldn't kill. Not because of power, but because of the people. The one power that even someone like Stalin, the only thing stronger than the people is God. So, that's it. Let's see here. 1954, 1957, first Japanese ambassador to Israel. Yep. 1958.
Took 10 years.
Yeah. No, 9. Because Israel was, what, 1940... Oh, I thought it was 48. It was 47?
You may be right. 47, 48.
I always thought... Because you kept saying 48. Hold on. When was Israel formed? 48. Right. There we go.
9 years.
All right. Well, you always said it. So, that's why it's in my head. Because I never knew. I never looked it up.
Yeah.
So, anyway, 1958, Robert W. Welsh Jr. and 11 other men met in Indianapolis to form the conservative and anti-communist John Birch Society. Okay.
Birchers.
Yeah. 61, Tanganyika gained independence from Britain, took the name Tanzania from Ukuru, freedom torchlit, or with the Ukuru, the freedom torchlit, on the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. Ah, cool. Happy birthday, Tanzania.
Yeah.
1962, Tanganyika, the same people, 1 year later, became a republic within British Commonwealth. Okay, so within a year they gained independence and then they became a republic again, but we know that Tanzania is still around, so I guess they came back?
I don't know.
That's kind of weird. 1965, A Charlie Brown Christmas, the first Peanuts animated special premieres on CBS in the U.S.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Came big.
Yeah. Peanuts.
Yeah.
Which, even today, it's a weird saying. People don't really understand. Why is the comic called Peanuts? Because it's some Midwestern saying that, as I said, it's still, kind of weird. But remember Alice with her kicking the old peanut around?
Yeah.
But that's for another thing. Peanuts are supposed to be a nickname for kids. Like children, whippersnappers, younglings. The
somewhere
Peanuts.
Back in my head, I remember I've heard that term, Peanuts for kids.
Yeah. And that's why the comic is called Peanuts. It's just about kids.
Yeah.
And whenever an adult spoke in the anime, it's always blah 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 because it's about the kids and only about the kids. Anything of the adults, all you see is maybe you see an adult. Did you ever see an adult? You only heard the adults.
I don't think so.
I don't think you ever saw adults in that show.
I have no clue, but
I don't remember.
You may be right.
I'm not sure. You know what? Hold on a second. Were adults ever depicted in Peanuts? appear in peanuts every now and then. It is a rarity, so they have appeared.
Okay, so they have appeared.
Oh, yeah, the actual comic.
Okay, yeah. We're talking about the movie, yeah. So probably not in the movie then if it's a rare appearance.
Well, I see here, this, I'm not sure if that's a comic though. Well, if anyone out there watching this is a Peanuts fan, let us know if it was ever outside of the comics. Moving on up to 1967, hey, it's your buddy here. Jim Morrison arrested on stage for disturbing the peace at the New Haven Arena, Connecticut, making him the first rock star to be taken into custody during a performance.
Yeah.
What a trailblazer.
Well. No, I remember that well.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't buddy with him, as you say, but like you knew the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you were his impromptu security guard, at least once. That's a fun story. 1967, in the mother of all demos, Douglas Engelbert demonstrated the computer system NLS online system to a live audience in San Francisco, showed for the first time the mouse, word processing, Windows, hypertext links, video conferencing, real-time collaboration, and other modern computing concepts. Jesus, that is way too much to demonstrate at one time. You're gonna give these people aneurysms. You can't understand. These are all groundbreaking innovations, all at once. That's basically like waking up like Encino Man. Like, no, dude. The mouse, Windows, links, video conferencing.
Yeah.
No, like 1968, video conferencing, like in the Jetsons, like how we do on Discord today, or whatever. We can do it on our phones. Wow. This is
way back. You don't realize how far some of this stuff goes back.
I mean, I know I seem like I'm really excited, but I'm not broadcasting my emotions to the degree that they're going on. I am just, this is mind blowing. Like, holy shiza. Like, that the future is now. Like, wow.
I will tell you a story that's kind of different than that, but when there was. What do you call it when we first started not texting? When you could... Oh, well, I've forgotten.
Texting? Like,
not texting, when you could...
email?
No, way before phones. When you could... You had a machine to send a copy. Fax machine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Facsimiles existed in the time of Abraham Lincoln.
So, in a guy I knew on the East Coast who was selling equipment, and this was new technology.
Wow.
The guy wanted to quote us some equipment, and what he did is he says, "I'll get it to you." He faxed it to a center down in Texas or wherever it was, and the center delivered it within a few hours. The guy was blown away.
That is awesome.
You've got it. Nobody had faxes in their offices at the time. And you know how quickly faxes came and went. I mean, within a few years.
Actually, no. They're making a comeback because of internet security or the lack thereof.
Yeah, that's true.
Fax machines are making a comeback.
But the guy was actually blown away within hours. He had a written quote in his hand. Unheard of, unbelievable.
That is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
1968, Terence O'Neill, Northern Ireland Prime Minister, made a television appeal for moderate opinion in what became known as the Ulster Stands at the Crossroads speech. I'm not sure if that's obviously during the Troubles or right before it, actually. Really hard times for Ireland, still going through stuff. While that was happening, the Derry Citizens Action Committee, the DCAC, called for a halt to all marches and protests for a period of 1 month. Okay? The only Derry I know of is the city from Stephen King's It.
Oh.
That's the name of the town that they were in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Derry, yep. 1970, OPEC meeting in Caracas established 55% as a minimum tax rate and demanded that posted prices be changed to reflect changes in foreign exchange rates. All right. 73, Arab Oil Ministries announced a further production cut of 5% for January for non-friendly countries. Surprised that they're even doing business with non-friendly countries.
Still want their money.
That's true.
Putting the screws to them.
Yeah. 1974, Johnson Grigsby freed after 66 years in jail in Indiana. What did he do? Jonathan Grigsby. Let's look them up real quick.
6 years.
That was 74, so yeah. Let's look him up here. Was he like a murderer or something? He was convicted of second-degree murder in 1908 and eventually paroled from Indiana State Penitentiary in Michigan City in 1974.
Jeez.
Yikes. Serving 24,229 days, allowing for leap years. So, of his life sentence. So, wow. Which begs the question, and this actually happened. Someone, actually died in prison or something, serving a life sentence, and they brought him back. He had a heart attack or whatever, so they brought him back, and then he argued that he served his life sentence. He died.
Yeah.
I haven't looked it up, and we're running out of time here, so I'm not going to look it up. But what would you say? Would you say that he had served his life sentence? I would say yes.
I'd say no.
Well, he
died. There was a hiccup, but technically, it's hard to say. Anyway,
he served.
Yeah, I got you. I like the concept of it.
Yeah.
Keep that SOB in prison.
Think about Friday days. I'm no longer grounded. Friday is over. I can watch TV now.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Forget it.
1975, Iraq completed nationalization by taking over the BP, CFP, and Shell shares of the Basra Petroleum Company. All right. We also have U.S. President Gerald Ford signed a new $2.3 million or $2.3 dollar. It has to be million. 2.3 New York Seasonal Financing Act amid financial crisis in the city. That was a hard read right there.
Yeah.
$1 million. It has to be $1 million.
I guess.
Yeah. Huh. He kind of looks like Brian Stelter with that photo, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Gerald Ford.
Yeah. 1978, first game of Women's Pro Basketball League, WBL, Chicago Hustle versus Milwaukee Does. And I'm not sure if it was yesterday or I think it's today. That stupid trade with Russia. I think we're going to be talking.
I'm glad she's back and all that good stuff. Well, how could they give up that guy?
Anyway, 1978, Pioneer Venus 2 dropped 5 probes into the atmosphere of Venus. All right. 1981, porn star John Holmes charged with Laurel Canyon murders.
Ooh,
yikes.
Laurel Canyon.
Yeah. 82, World Boxing Council first to reduce the length of championship fights from 15 to 12 rounds and allowed referees to order standing 8 count for fighters in trouble. I remember we looked this up a while ago about when they moved it from 15 to 12.
I didn't realize that they went down to 12. I remember 15 rounds.
Yeah, so they...
It's the only time that you'd really go that long was for championship bouts. Because that's, you talk about endurance.
Oh, yeah.
Rounds.
Well, wow. I mean, I see this all the time. When you think about it, a round is roughly 3 minutes.
Yeah, not a round. It is 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Multiply that by 15. That's 45. That's 45 minutes. Yeah. Not straight. You'd have breaks and stuff.
Here's what I can say about it. Get in a ring and try to fight for 3 minutes and see what you feel like at the end of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You'll be exhausted if you make it to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, not by being knocked out. I mean, just physically.
Just physically constantly doing the duck and weave. You're constantly moving and you're straining yourself, Yeah. Because you don't start off and no, you come out swinging, and you stay swinging.
You got to go both ways, defense and offense, and you're putting it all out there. And if you don't, you're going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's incredible. 15 rounds, unbelievable.
I know. 1983, Consular to Ronald Reagan, Edwin Meese said people go to soup kitchens, quote, because food is free and that's easier than paying for it, end quote. I mean, that is a reason, but, I mean, it's also not the best food. You're not getting good nutrients. It probably tastes like shit. But, I mean, if you're homeless and you got nothing. So, anybody who goes to a soup kitchen with the ability to buy their own food, it's kind of a fool.
Well, people do it as maybe you have the ability, but you are on a tight budget. If you can get a free meal, you're going to go. Because that's kind of a naive thing he's looking at. And that's some things of the right that just... Really? That's what you think? Really?
That's stupid.
I
mean, you're not wrong, but that's ridiculous. Yeah. 1984, Iranian commandos ended the 5J hijacking of Kuwaiti plane. Well, that's when plane hijackings were really starting to get, become a thing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
1987, Palestine uprising began in Israeli-occupied West Bank. Israeli-occupied West Bank.
Yeah, and they've since given it up.
They're taking it again. So, 1988, New York Yankees signed a 12-year television contract with MSG for $500 million. MSG, isn't that like what they put in the food? Or something?
No. MSG. Name. Manufacturing something. What, read the whole sentence again.
New York Yankees signed a 12-year television contract with MSG.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. That's something broadcast. That's a broadcasting a network of some sort.
MSG Networks. Okay, here we go. MSG.
Yeah, that's. They signed a contract to broadcast.
Oh God, MSG Plus. They have a streaming service. Well, of course they do. 1988, the Michael Hughes Bridge in Sligo, Ireland, was officially opened. All right. 1990. You know, I want to look at this bridge. Like, I'm a sucker for architecture, so let's see here. Okay. Is that it? Michael Hughes Bridge, in Sligo, Ireland. Yeah, let's see here. Huh. Okay, that's a small bridge.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Hardly have known.
But it got into the source, so okay. 1990, Lech Walesa, however you pronounce it, Lech
Walesa,
won the first direct presidential election in Poland. All right.
Yeah.
That
He's a
deserves
big
a
union
cheer right
guy.
there. Hell yeah. 1992, NHL New Jersey Devil organization announced that it will change its colors to black, red, and white for the 1992-93 season. Okay. While that was going on, the U.S. Marines and allied nations launched an amphibious and airborne operation on Mogadishu, Somalia, to restore order in the war-torn nation, authorized by UN Secretary Council Resolution 794, passed on December 3rd. So we were going in and doing things. And we also have 1994, 5-meter meteor 1994 XM1 passed within 100,000 kilometers of Earth. That's pretty,
yeah,
look,
pretty close.
What is 5 meters? 5 meters to feet. Okay, let's, I don't know, yard, feet. 16 feet. Okay, that's a substantial meteor. I'm not sure if it would have completely burnt up in the atmosphere at that size.
I don't know.
So,
but I would call that a near miss.
Well, no, a near hit.
Yeah, near hit.
Look at that. They nearly missed. A near miss is when you hit. They almost missed, but not quite, as George Carlin would say. Yeah. 1994, U.S. Surgeon General Jocelyn Elders resigned after comments about self-pleasure. Wow, what the hell are you talking about? So,
Yeah, I assume that's what they're talking about.
Well, but why?
I don't know.
And then what would he have said? What would he have said that would warrant him resigning? That's I don't even want to look it up. 1995, the Messel pit in Germany inscribed on UNESCO's it's supposed to be UNESCO World Heritage UNESCO World Heritage list as the world's richest fossil site for Eocene period, 57 to 36 million years ago. Okay, some archaeological stuff, I'm not sure. 1997, Tomorrow Never Dies, the 18th James Bond film starring Pierce Brosnan and Michael Yeoh, premieres in London. All right. In the year 2000, Tottenham defender Ledley King scored fastest goal in English Premier League history when he netted after 9.82 seconds in a 3-3 draw at Bradford City. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. 10 seconds, under 10 seconds.
Yeah. 2002, Star Trek Nemesis, film directed by Stuart Baird and starring, of course, Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes, premiered. Yep. The guy who loves to sit in a chair by walking over it for whatever reason. Like that's his way of getting into a chair. Have you seen that's his thing? Like every time he sits into a chair, he just swings his leg over the back and gets into it. It's his move or something. 2003, Peter Pan live-action adventure film adaptation of the 1904 play in 1911 by J.M. Barrie premiered in London, flopped at the box office. The whole lore behind Peter Pan is not a good one. No. Well, it's all about Neverland is about dead children. They never grow up because they died. In the Neverland, Peter Pan is the angel of death, and he's bringing their souls to where they'll never grow up.
I never realized that.
So, and then there's a whole
evaluated the
there's a
lore
whole
behind it.
There's a whole nother spin because the author was someone who liked children too much. So I believe that's been proven. And the whole concept of Neverland, with children never growing up, was paradise for him. So so there's that whole wing of it too.
I liked Robin Williams in Peter Pan or whatever.
Yeah.
Did they call it Peter Pan?
Hook.
Hook, that's right.
Yeah.
Hook.
Yeah. 2003, a blast in the center of Moscow killed 6 people and wounded several more. That's what happened. Like a sewer explosion or something. That's weird. In the middle of the city, Moscow. They're not fighting a war back then.
Yeah, well, that can happen. That can be pretty volatile gases.
Yeah. I was about to make a really bad joke.
Just move on.
Well, let me mute the mic first. 2005, Brokeback Mountain film released. Directed by Ang Lee, starring Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, based on a story by Annie Pollux. Well, yeah.
Ledger was a pretty good actor.
Yes, he was. Rest in peace.
Checked out real quick.
Well, because he couldn't get... he was a method actor. And we've spoken about this several times before, but anybody who doesn't really know, he did a remarkable job as a Joker, because what he actually did is he put himself into a hotel room for like a month before anything, just to get himself in that mindset, to bring the character to life. And it got to the point where he couldn't snap himself out of it. So it is believed that he intentionally OD'd because he couldn't unjoker himself. And then when you're in that dark of a world, that's a miserable life.
Yeah.
I mean, I should know. Like, 2004, we got that. Oh wait, Mary-Kate Olsen. I skipped over this. Mary-Kate Olsen pledged that women sewing garments for her company in Bangladesh will be afforded legal maternity leave. Okay, I wonder if she fulfilled on that.
I'm pretty sure she did if she announced it.
Well, I mean, the fact that she had to announce it and make it a thing means she wasn't doing it, beforehand. So she's already a scumbag at that level. And, she's Mary-Kate Olsen, a Hollywood starlet. You want to talk about people who are disconnected from reality.
Well, a lot of they came out with name brand designer clothes for themselves under their name, and they didn't realize how stuff was getting manufactured. Or they didn't care, whatever.
I mean, like, if you don't realize...
They come on and say, that won't happen.
See, here's the thing. If you're making something in your name, then, that's your name.
Yeah.
Like, so if you don't...
You should figure the whole thing out. You should, but people don't.
Well, yeah, it's just a cop-out excuse. Oh, I didn't realize. Bullshit, it's your name. You're either intentionally ignorant or you're just not caring. Either way, it's not good. Anyway, 2006, Moscow suffered its worst fire since 1977, killing 45 women in a drug rehabilitation center. That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, so many places. I mean, well, there's never a place where it's enjoyable to die.
Right.
But, like, you're trying to get your life on track. Like, never mind going to a ball game or going shopping or, whatever, like all these other places, going to church, where there's been fires, collapses, earthquakes, whatever. But you're going to try to rehabilitate yourself, from hard narcotics, and you end up dying in a fire. That's awful. Well, at least they went to heaven, guaranteed. They're trying to better themselves, so... 2008, Governor of Illinois, Rob Blagojevich, was arrested by federal officials for a number of alleged crimes, including attempted to sell the United States Senate seat being vacated by President-elect Barack Obama. I remember that.
I remember it, too.
Yeah. What an idiot. 2012, 13 people were killed and 10 others were injured after a bus rolled off a cliff and fell 100 meters down in Taiwan. Yikes. And, normally I wouldn't bring that up, but, like, right at that same time, same day, and I remember Alice was part of this show last year when we covered this, because we made a comment about this. Same date, same day, same year, different area. 6 people were killed and 41 were injured after a different bus plunges 30 meters down a gorge in Guatemala.
Wow.
2 different areas, same time, 2 buses.
That is weird.
Wow. So... And then we have 2012, incumbent Ghanaian President John Mahama won the general election amidst allegations of fraud. Well, that's topical for today.
Yeah.
So, and then 2012, and the only reason why this is here is because of this guy, Manny Pacquiao. Juan Manuel Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao in round 6 for the WBO light welterweight title. That is a feat.
Yeah.
That guy is a tough son of a gun. Yeah.
Even then, he was tough as nails.
I don't want to get a fight with that guy. He will pretzel you. So, He might be 4 foot nothing, but he will destroy you. Like, and also, shorter people, they have lower centers of gravity. They're harder to knock down. And it's just that. And short people are meaner because they're closer to hell. I mean, that explains my birth mom. The bulldog of Westphalia, or whatever her nickname was. Remember her story telling 2 gang members, to chill. There's no war here. When her son, my brother.
Yeah.
There's a whole story. You've heard that story, right?
Yeah.
When she talked to a crip in a blood and told him to, knock it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember, speaking of closer to the ground, all that. I remember, I think it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he said it jokingly. He says, "I always get asked, how's the weather up there?" And he would spit and say, "It's raining."
Yeah.
As a joke.
Yeah. Well, that's the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
that's when you're too far from the ground.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on up. 2013, Mike Ditka's 89 jersey was retired by the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
Not Mike Ditka. You talk about a
Mike Ditka.
Mean.
He looks mean.
Linebacker. Holy cow, that guy was tough.
He has a mean mug going on right there. Like, what'd you say to me? You talking to me? Huh? 2014 CIA torture report released detailing CIA's use of torture on detainees between 2001 and 2006. What happened to cruel and unusual punishments? No torture.
Yeah.
The freaking Constitution, the Bill of Rights. 2015, Amazon's best-selling book of the year, Girl on a Train by Paula Hawkins. Well, better than, I'm not even going to repeat that joke. Girl on a Train.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I. 2015, German Chancellor Angela Merkel named Time Magazine's Person of the Year for her handling of debt and refugee crisis. That is very fitting, historically, that Time would put her as Person of the Year, because you know who other German that they put Person of the Year?
Hitler?
Yep.
Yeah.
How fitting.
You can't compare her to Hitler.
Oh, well, she was, on her way. So, 2017, funeral for Frederick rock star Johnny Hallyday drew hundreds of thousands on the Paris streets.
Who?
French rock star Johnny Hallyday.
Oh, okay.
2017, Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi declared victory over the Islamic State in Iraq, ending more than 3 years of conflict. All right. 2017, same-sex marriage was legalized in Australia after being signed into law by the Governor General. All right. And we're moving on up to 2018, Copa Libertadores Final, Madrid. River Plate defeated Boca Juniors 3-1 in extra time, aggregate 5-3. Juan Quintero's stunning extra time strike helped River come from a goal down to record historic victory over 10-man Boca. I'm not even sure if that was even cricket or not. Madrid, that sounds like football. So, but it might be cricket. I feel like I had a stroke, but I read that verbatim. So, it might be cricket. Anyway, 2018 as well. Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers defeated Tom Brady's NFL record with his 359th straight pass without an interception during the Packers' 34-20 win over Atlanta Falcons. Hey, the Packers, Alice's team. Finishes game with streak intact at 368. And then we have, while that was going on, New England Patriots quarterback Tom Deflate the Ball Brady broke Peyton Manning's record for most touchdown passes in NFL history. Moves to 582 with 3 touchdown passes during 33-34 defeat by Miami Dolphins. Record includes touchdown thrown in regular season and postseason. All right. So, 2018 as well, tens of thousands marched on Delhi, India to demand Hindi temple be built on contentious religious site in Ayodhya. No clue about any of that, but all right. 2018 as well, a winter storm hit the U.S. Southeast, killing 3, leaving hundreds of thousands without power, canceling over 1,000 flights. I remember that. The East has suffered multiple power outages throughout my life. I remember back in 2007, 2008, 2000, I don't remember, somewhere in that time. Back in my old WoW days, I remember because of my old WoW days, a lot of people in the guild or whatever, I was, raiding and all that whatnot, couldn't show up for a while because their power was out. They had no internet, they had no power at all because of winter storms and knocking over things and all that stuff, and our raiding schedule got all foobar.
Yeah.
Because like our main tank, or our main healer, or whatever, like, or the organizer or the guild leader, like somebody, or multiple people. So 2019, Chilean Air Force plane lost on flight to Antarctica with presumed loss of 38 lives. And I wonder if they ever found him. Or just vanished.
Yeah.
2019, Rock for the Rainforest benefit concert held at the Beacon Theater in New York City. Performers included Sting, Bruce Springsteen, James Taylor, John Mellencamp, Bob Geldof, Ricky Martin, Aerosmiths, Deborah Harry, Shaggy, Zucchero, MC Rodriguez, and HER. Okay. 2019 as well, U.S. officials deliberately misled the public on progress on the Afghanistan war, hid that it was a lost cause, according to the Washington Post analysis of the Afghanistan papers. Yeah, and we all know how that ended up. So, even though we had a freaking agreement with them that okay, we'll do it, by the numbers, but then no, somebody had to come in and screw it all up, as he screws everything up. So. 2019, World Anti-Doping Agency banned Russia from all major sporting events, including 2020 Tokyo Olympics and 2022 Football World Cup in Qatar for manipulating laboratory data. All right. We spoke about, I spoke about it yesterday, but the actual article was on the day before. Did you know that as of 2024 in the Paris Olympics, breakdancing is now an Olympic sport?
What?
I know. It's called breaking.
Wow.
But breakdancing is now
Olympic sport. Breakdancing's incredible what they can do.
Oh yeah,
that.
But now it's an Olympic sport.
But in the Olympics,
I know.
That's weird.
When I first said it the other day, I was just like, wait, what? And then I looked it up, and they had their section in the Olympic sport. It happened. That was last summer.
It's for 24. You said 2024.
Oh wait, hold on a second.
It's gonna happen.
Break dancing. For whatever reason, I thought I was already in 2024 Olympics. Here we go. Breakdancing Olympics. Breaking. Paris 2024. Okay, so it's coming.
It's coming, yeah.
So, yeah. Can you imagine?
Well, I mean, you have, what do you call it, swimming, in the pool. So what's the
synchronized swimming?
Synchronized swimming and all that.
I mean, that requires, incredible, well, I mean, so does breakdancing.
So does this.
But,
it's
something
weird to have in there, yeah.
But, I mean, it requires multiple people, Now, if they did multiple people breakdancing and choreographics, okay, now I can understand.
Yeah.
But you don't have just one person dancing in the water. That'd be the equivalent.
But you have them come out with their, their big strands of things, and they do all kinds of dancing that way, too. So there's all kinds of dancing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's not that weird when you start breaking it down, really.
Yeah.
Just kind of weird.
Was that pun intended? Breaking it down?
It ended up that way. It wasn't intended, but yeah, it did work that way.
Hey, I caught it.
Yeah.
I am the pun master general. So
don't break my heart.
Don't be breaking my heart. You couldn't if you tried.
So when you do break it, here we go.
Yeah.
It makes a little bit of sense. Yeah, it's just kind of weird, but I think it's going to be kind of awesome. I'd like to see it.
And here we go.
I'm going to have to tune in for that.
I am about to destroy your good mood. 2021, actor Jussie Smollett found guilty of falsely reporting a hate crime in 2019 in a Chicago court. Of course, yeah.
The only good thing is they found him guilty.
Yeah.
They busted him.
Well, how many of these like that kid who drew the swastika, the black kid in the school who drew the swastika and then turned around and tried to blame a white guy,
Never heard of that.
Yeah, well, then that other guy who did it allegedly to LeBron James's house. Remember that? I was like, are you serious? He has so much security. He'd find somebody. He did it to himself. It's just all baiting. It's all.
Well, they don't know if LeBron James did that to himself.
Well, of course he did. Well, it's all grifting. So when the supply, when the demand outweighs the supply, you have to start making up things to further the agenda. So, anyway. 2021 as well, Chicago Blackhawks Marc-Andre Fleury became the third NHL goaltender to reach 500 career wins in a 2-0 shutout over the Canadiens at Montreal. Now, speaking of goalies, did you know that there are, I think it was 13 goalies who've scored goals, but the goals they've scored outnumbers the goalies. So, some of these goalies have scored multiple goals. How does a goalie score a goal? Think about it. They're on the complete opposite side of the thing.
I think it's a negative.
It is.
Yeah. How many of you allowed?
Like half of them. Some of them actually were goals scored across the entire thing, but some of them were accidental hit-ins on their own behalf.
Okay, read it again.
Well, this is something else.
Okay.
No. Like this is
lost what you were going for.
Well, this was this third NHL goaltender to reach 500 career wins. It has nothing to do with him scoring goals.
Okay.
But because he's a goaltender, I'm like, oh, did you know? Goalies who scored goals. You don't think about that. They're a goalie.
Yeah.
They're not designed to score goals. They're designed to prevent them.
Yeah.
So, anyway, 2021, more than 40 camels were disqualified from the King Abdulaziz Camel Festival beauty contest after Botox injections and other cosmetic enhancers were discovered. What?
Camels? Did I hear that right?
Yeah. They're Botoxing camels.
Wow. Okay.
This is why I do the show. Like, if you've ever had the wild question, have they ever put Botox into camels? Now here's your answer: yes.
For
beauty competition for camels. I mean, like,
are they giving them bigger humps? What?
Well, I mean,
what are they Botoxing?
I'm going to mute the microphone because I don't want to broadcast without.
Stop with that.
Hey, the stereotypes exist for a reason, like. Anyway, 2021, a truck with a trailer carrying 150 migrants crashed in Chiapas, Mexico, killing 54. I'm not sure if this is the same one, but remember, I think it was they did cross the border. They were in Texas. Remember that truckload of illegals and they all died of the heat?
Yeah, heat. Yeah, that's a different deal.
Yeah, so yikes.
And the number was much bigger.
Yeah. And then just last year, dark fantasy game Elden Ring, created by Hideki Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, awarded Game of the Year at Game Awards. All right, George R.R. Martin, of course, we know him. Well, actually, no, I was thinking of Tolkien. That was Lord of the Rings. George R.R. Martin. Who is he? What is he famous for? This guy. Game of Thrones. Okay, that's why. Okay, Game of Thrones. Okay. All the geeks out there screaming at me. I can hear them. And then, last but not least, 2022 as well, a sheet of paper on which scientist Charles Darwin defended his theory of evolution in 1865 sold for a record $882,000 at Sotheby's. All right. And that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on Rumble or YouTube. We're also on BitChutes, and we're on Odyssey, but that's only for other shows because internal crypto system dictating how much you can upload and all that stuff, yada yada. Anyway, for your dose of fast events daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do other shows, not just this show. We have, the Omni Coalition News Show every Friday. We have, the Peanut coming up tomorrow. We have ThEoD, The Edge of Disclosure, coming up tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Time.
And what's it about?
UFOlogy, paranormal conspiracy, stuff like that. The Omni Kitchen, and Inosh coming up. Still working on it, actually. We were talking about our first episode the other day, yeah. So keep your eyes peeled, as however disgusting that term sounds, for our other products. But until you see us again, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Let's see, click this.